the daytime. Y'all never see me during the daytime because I sleep until the last possible minute and then go to work and work until it's dark. I don't even know if the lighting in here is going to work for this. Can you see me? You can see Roro? Hey guys, and welcome to Financial Friday. I've got some good questions for you today, so let's jump in. Pockets1337 says, if and when you buy a house, what will be your plan on paying the mortgage? Some people say to pay your normal amount and invest/save anything extra, or add the extra to your house payment and try to cut some years off at the end. What are your thoughts on it? Well, I actually haven't given a ton of thought to buying a house because the stage of life that I'm in right now, I haven't really considered buying a house. I have student loan debt. I also don't know where I'm going to end up living long term. But when all else fails, what would Dave do? And Dave recommends to do a 15-year fixed mortgage and not a 30-year and then do the save to try to pay off extra years, because a 15-year mortgage pays off in 15 years and life happens, so that extra you save may end up going somewhere else. So when I do buy a house, I will do the Dave plan, which is 15-year fixed mortgage, large down payment, and then if you can pay it off a little early, that's great. If not, you still only have your house, you still pay it off in 15 years. So I hope that answered your question. All right, my Frugal Life says, hi BG, I hope you can get better soon. I'm trying so hard, but did y'all hear that noise? That's a noise my head makes all day. It's dumb. My question is, if you found $100 in your budget, or if you had to find $100 in your budget in order to have everything fit, which categories would you consider cutting down on? Food, utilities, personal, or anything else? I've been in that position. That's a really good question. Sometimes you just you've got to make it fit in your budget. That's the way things work. I do a zero-based budget, so everything comes down to zero. If everything fits, but I need $100 to pay the bills, first thing I'm probably going to cut is personal money, because that can always go. Second, restaurant money. Third, maybe groceries. Because you might be able to swap out, some meat for some rice or something like that and bring your grocery budget down a little bit. Basically, any entertainment type thing, that needs to be the first thing you let go. Because, yes, it's important to have fun and live a good life on a budget, but at the same time, you need to cover all of your home bases first. So you need to be able to get those bills paid. What a lot of people, and what I tended to do at first was, oh, I don't have enough money to save. Wrong. Pay yourself first. Save for the future when you know you're going to need it. Save your emergency fund. Go ahead and sinking fund that future car because you know you're going to need it. Cut out the day-to-day expendables over your long-term goals. Don't stop saving for the 401k if you're in the point of the plan where you do that, just so you can pay bills and still be able to go to the movies twice a month. No. Your expendables first. I hope that helped you. Food's one of the harder ones to cut, but you can do it. You just have to make a better plan to be able to cut those costs down. All right. 10529 Aaron says, congratulations. Have you been recognized anywhere as Budget Girl? No. I'm not even even a little bit internet famous. I've never been recognized anywhere. Mostly people are just like, why is that girl talking to her phone? That's so odd. We go to the other side of the lane, kids. Scary. All right. Hulda 2002 says, what should you do if there isn't enough room in the budget for sinking funds, car repairs, for examples? Hulda, that's a good question, and it kind of goes back to what I was talking about a few minutes ago. Saving for your future, saving for things that you know are going to break, is one of, I think, the pillars of personal finance. Because, like Dave always says, it's going to rain. That's why you need that $1,000 emergency fund. Your car isn't going to last forever. Your laptop isn't going to last forever. And if your car breaks down and you don't have another way to get to work, you're not going to be able to make any more money. That's one of the things that you should always be saving for. Even if it's only $50 a month, if you can put that aside into a sinking fund, then that's going to help you in the future when your car breaks down or when you need a new one. If you don't have room in your budget for those sinking funds, you need to look at your budget. Maybe you can cut in personal, grocery, restaurant, entertainment. If you've already kind of maxed out all of those and cut them down to the minimum, maybe it's an income problem. And I hate it when Dave says this, but he's right. He's always right. Maybe you need to find a little side gig that you can do in order to sinking fund your future. If you need to clean houses or pick up a pizza delivery route or something like that, then all of that money that you're making there can go to saving for a better future. And I've done this before. I've picked up a route temporarily. It's not the end of the world. You can handle it, to fund a goal that I knew that I needed. And it's better to do it now when it's not an emergency than later when it is and you don't have the resources to do it. So, all right. Shelby Chanel says, I know nothing about Dave Ramsey, though I hear about him a lot. What would you suggest of his to start out? I vow that in 2016 I will pay off my credit card. Good! Good for you, Shelby. That's a very admirable goal. Then cut that sucker up and don't use them again. I would start with the Total Money Makeover. There's the book, and I'm pretty sure they have it at basically every library across the country. It lays out his plan of the 7 baby steps, how to get control of your money and build a better future. If you are not a big reader, he has the entire book online. I will link to a full version of that, either the audiobook or him doing a talk where he does the full plan online and you can get a hold of it. He is an amazing speaker. So watch that below. It'll probably take like 40 minutes to an hour. Completely worth your time. Doesn't cost a penny. Completely worth your time. Life Paths answered Shelby, and she said, I've actually not read any of his books either. I'd love to know what order to read his materials also. Does it matter in what order they're read? What's the most simple way to lay it all out in layman's terms that he has published, Budget Girl? Total Money Makeover is the one you want to start out with. He's got other books like Retire Inspired, Smart Money, Smart Kids, and all of those can be read kind of down the line once you kind of get the basics. But no, I think you should start with the Total Money Makeover or Financial Peace University, which isn't a book, it's a class. And I will link to that below. It is like an 8-week class. You can do it at home or online. It also lays out all 7 baby steps. But if you just want to jump into it like I did, they weren't offering a Dave class anywhere I was when I started this. And I was like, all right, no, I can't wait. I gotta go. Gotta do this now. Total Money Makeover, or you can listen to it online. And just start with listening to his speeches online or to his radio channel on DaveRamsey.com. You can watch his daily radio show or listen to it. He talks for like 3 or 4 hours every single day and answers people's money questions. And I've called in and he's answered my money questions before. So if you need help, he's there and he'll give it to you straight, sister. All right. I'll link his website below too. All right. Oh, Ram Bam also replied to Shelby, and she said, I would suggest looking on YouTube for Dave Ramsey's 7 Baby Steps. And there's one video where Dave is at a conference in Dallas and it's televised. It's a great starting point to see if you're interested in Dave's plan. Dave's plan is also quite comical. He's hilarious. I'll link that video below. I've seen it. I watch it sometimes. I watch a lot of his stuff sometimes when I'm just feeling the need to get amped up about budgeting again. Like, if I'm starting to feel a little lethargic about, just like, oh, I have to do this again. I'm like, all right, let's watch Dave. He'll get you pumped. He'll get you ready. Yeah. All right. Sarah Caballos? I don't know. How do you decide on your food budget? I can't seem to get it right and it's messing up my budget. I hear you, Sarah. The food budget is one of the hardest things to get under control because it's not like a monthly bill that comes in that you have to find a way to pay. You have to actually adjust your lifestyle to a certain set of parameters, and it takes a minute. And I'm sorry, that's not the answer you want to hear, but it takes a minute. So what I need you to do is look at the last month of your spending. If you use like a debit card, it's the easiest way to do it. Go through and look for the last month and see how much you spent at the grocery store. That number is going to be scary. or the last time you didn't budget on this, and go through and see how much you spend when you're not paying attention. The trick to this is that if you're spending $500 a month on groceries, you can't suddenly only spend $200 a month. It's not going to work. You can't switch straight to rice and beans from eating steak every night. Your body will not be happy with you. You have to kind of wean yourself down. So if you were spending $500 a month when you weren't paying attention, go to $400 a month. And yes, that's going to be a large portion of your budget. But this is going to get you started into actually thinking about what you're eating. You're going to have to plan to go to the grocery store. And once you've mastered the $400 grocery budget, go to $350, then go to $300, and bring it down, making choices like to incorporate more rice or pasta or beans into your diet instead of a little bit more meat. You'll find ways to switch out. You'll find good, healthy, cheap recipes, but it's going to take trial and error because it's about your family and what you're willing to eat. Dead is Dumb did a really good series. They tried to, and they're great at this, but they tried to switch straight to rice and beans in a couple of their videos, and they did a really good video on how they got burnt out on it. And I don't want you to burn out, Sarah. And I've kind of done this before too. If you make a giant pot of rice and beans and try to eat on that for 2 weeks straight, your stomach is going to be very unhappy, and therefore you will be very unhappy, and you'll be spending way too much time in the bathroom. So slowly incorporate cheaper items. Meal plan is going to be essential to this. When you go to the grocery store, write down how much things cost. Go with a budget. Do not spend more than your budget. Don't just throw things into your cart. You need to write down what you're going to eat for that week, write down what ingredients you need, and how much they cost. And after doing that for, a couple of months, it's going to take months, you're going to be able to get your food budget more under control. So I had to change mine recently. I was only spending $170 a month. That includes household items, like shampoo and other toilet paper, paper towels, that kind of thing. But in Hammond, because I had access to a Save-A-Lot, which is a cheaper grocery store, and salvage stores. Here, the only option is Walmart. So I actually had to increase my grocery budget from $170 to $200. So it's going to also be a little bit more of a challenge if you live in a little bit of a food desert like I do, or if you're living in a big city. If you're living in a big city, there's probably an Aldi or a Save-A-Lot or something where you can possibly just switch where you shop and save a lot of money. But don't just do that. Still plan out your meals. It's going to make all the difference. So good luck to you in that. Don't get discouraged. I still screw up on my food budget every couple of months. Every other month. Sometimes. Not every month, but a lot. Because it's hard. It's hard, especially, I want to try this, and it's not in the budget. So you can eat really well on a budget. It's just going to take a minute, and I believe you can do it. You can watch some of my food videos if you want examples of really cheap, healthy, hearty meals. Sometimes not so healthy. Cheap, hearty meals. And I do a cost breakdown, especially for my lunches, of what each day costs. And in comparison to eating out, it's amazing. I can usually feed myself breakfast and lunch for $2 to $3 a day. And by usually, I mean always. So you can do it. Alrighty. Sarah Mitchell, another Sarah, says, does your debt payoff amount include the minimum payment amount that pays down the balance as well as any extra you put towards the student loans? Well, I hope that made sense. Not entirely, but I'm going to try. By debt payoff amount, I don't know if you mean like the amount that you see on the website or on your balance statement. That's your or on my videos. Either way, that is the amount that I owe right now, or the amount you see on your statement is going to include is just the amount you owe right now. That doesn't add in or subtract your monthly payment. It's just if you owe $10,000, you owe $10,000, and then if your monthly payment's $200, and your interest is $50, and you pay the $200, you're going to see that $10,000 balance go down by $150, and that'll be a new balance. So that's what you're working on. Your debt payment amount, as well as any extra you put towards the student loans. It's just how much you pay to it minus the interest that's accrued is going to be your new debt payoff amount. They're not calculating in your minimum in any way, and I'm not calculating. On the videos, the number that you see below the video, that is going to just be how much debt I owe today. I check Mint, and it shows me exactly how much I owe today. It doesn't include it doesn't exclude anything that I've paid so far, and it doesn't include anything that I haven't paid yet. I hope that made sense. All right, Lori Brown says, my questions are, knowing what you know now about how paying off debt is impacting your life, would you still go to college and take out student loans? Or would you wait and cash flow it, apply for, find more scholarships, etc.? 18-year-old me, if I knew how hard life would be with student loans, I would either defer for a year, get a bunch of jobs, because I did that in high school. I worked as a nanny, I worked at a restaurant. I would have saved up for it. I would have not gone to college and saved up for it. And deferred for a year, whatever I needed to do. I also would have worked during college, but, because I did work during college. At one point I was working 5 jobs in college. I would budget and not spend all the money. I actually made enough in college, I'm pretty sure, and because I didn't have a budget, I don't actually know, but I'm pretty sure I made enough in college to pay for college if I had managed my money well. Because I was working for the local newspaper, I was working for the campus newspaper, I was working for the financial aid office, I did dog walking, I worked for a catering company, I did night cleaning at a coffee shop. Some of those were not at the same time, a lot of them were all at the same time, and if I had budgeted my money, I'm pretty sure I could have lived off of it. Gone to college. I did have some scholarships that paid for basically the classes. My classes were paid for. I took out loans for room and board and to live off of, which was the mistake. I would not have taken out loans to live off of because I was living at a lifestyle which was far above my means. And it just went to junk, like clothes and eating out and, sorority gifts for littles and no. I probably could have gone to college and gotten out with, next to no loans, maybe a couple $1,000s, which I could have paid off fast. Ideally, I would have waited and cash flowed it. All right. Do I plan on funding my future kids' college education or encourage them to cash flow it to avoid debt? Ideally, when I have kids, I will have a fund for them where they will never have to take out student loans and they will never have to worry about having to take a bad job after college. They'll be able to pursue their passions. They won't have to just freak out all the time about money because their college will have been paid for either by scholarships or the money that I put aside. I've heard that some people will make a college fund for their kids and any money the kids can get in scholarships or pay for themselves, save for themselves, the parents will then will match that money and basically give that to them as a nest egg for like a car or when they get out of college, or they'll do something with that money for them, which gives the kids an incentive to still work hard. And sometimes it's done in secret, sometimes it's not. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Kids are a little far off. I don't even have a boyfriend, y'all. I don't even have a date. All right. When I'm finally debt-free, what lifestyle changes will I make? I'm going to have a bigger personal budget, y'all. I'm going to have a bigger grocery budget. I'm going to have a bigger restaurant budget. Rory's going to get a bigger budget. Rory's going to get more bones. It's going to be so freeing. I'm going to have this giant savings account. Just this giant one. I will probably have more than 6 months worth of savings in there. And that way, if my industry, newspapers, it's a very tumultuous time. If I get laid off, if a newspaper I'm working at goes down, I don't have to worry about finding another job fast. I could live for a couple of months, visit some friends, do a little bit of traveling. I could wait for the right opportunity to come to me. So that's the future I'm looking at, where I don't have to worry about losing my job because I'm self-insured. that I've got money there to cover it. That's the safety, like the safety gland that talks about that women have. Mine is like 7 times the normal or something. And it just pulses all the time. Like, what if you lose your job? What if something happens? And once I'm ready to get that to shrink down to basically nothing, where it's like, you're self-funded, you're okay, no matter what happens. All right. She also asks, what luxuries do you look forward to that you don't have now that you plan on having once debt-free, if any? I want to travel, y'all. I've never traveled outside the country. I want to go visit my friends. My best friend's in California right now. She's lived there for the past couple of years. I've never been able to go visit her because I'm broke. And I want to go see my friends. I want to be able to afford to buy a plane ticket and go visit her for the weekend or the week. Right now I can't afford to take off of work. I can't afford to do anything like that because I'm trying to pay off my debt. And I'm not complaining. This is a path that I've chosen, and I would much rather get out of debt now and then have the rest of my life to do fun stuff like that. But I want to be able to go out to eat with people when they ask me and just, not worry so much. And that's the main thing. Laura Forsyth asks, what would you like to do with the money that was going towards debt once you're debt free and have a larger emergency fund? Do you plan on keep working through the baby steps or put it towards something else? Travel, all the chai spices your heart desires, higher personal spending, etc. Yes, I will follow the baby steps. As soon as I finish baby step 2, I will start funding my big emergency fund. I do enjoy the chai spices. I've recently really started to enjoy chai lattes. Yes, I will have a bigger kind of, I can buy what I want fund. But the main thing is going to be that emergency fund. That's going to get probably 90% of what I'm putting towards student loans now. Dave does say it's okay to tap the brakes just a little bit once you get out of debt, and I'll probably do that for a couple of months, and then I'll get real gazelle intense about building up my emergency fund and planning my future, because my future will be totally open. It's going to be great. All right, S. Castle says, do you keep all of your sinking funds separate, as in a different account for each thing you're saving for? Yes, but it's not as complicated as you would think. I know a lot of people keep like 15 15 sinking funds, and so do I. But that doesn't mean you need to go to a different bank and open an account at each bank and then have to manage all of those accounts. That's lame. So I keep 2 banking accounts. One is a local branch of a bank, and that's where I deposit my paychecks. And then I also keep an online banking account with Capital One 360. Not a sponsor. I've used them for years. It used to be called, no, it wasn't Ally. It was, I don't know, something orange. I don't know. It was, but Capital One 360, what they do is it's an online only bank account. There are no fees. That's another thing. Never pay fees. Never pay for a bank account. This one's online only, so I can't go into a branch, but they do have ATMs that you can get money out of for free. And I also have a debit card through them, and I have 1 checking account with them, and I have like 10 savings accounts. And what I'm sure they do is it's like I have 1 savings account, but I get to break it up into different things. But in my mind and on my computer, it looks like I have 1 checking account and then 10 savings accounts. And all those savings accounts are named emergency fund, car sinking fund, Christmas fund, Operation Christmas Child, Pig Fest fund. And on all of those, I can see my balance and I can transfer between accounts. Now you can make it where it automatically transfers once a month, so much money to each account, or you can do it manually. I do it manually because I like being really intentional and remembering, hey, you're saving for the future with every transfer. So that's what I do. I mainly debit out of my local bank account, and then if I need money from one of my sinking funds, I transfer it out of the sinking fund into that checking account, and I'm good to go. So that's what I do. I hope that made sense. But yeah, Capital One 360. I'm sure there are other banks that let you do that as well. And once again, no fees for anything. That was my main thing when shopping for a local bank here. You don't get to charge me fees for giving you my money, for you being able to keep my money and invest it and make more money off of it. You don't get to do that. No. So, yeah, no fees for anything. And Capital One 360, actually, you earn interest. It's like 0.75% interest on all the money you keep with them, but that's not nothing. It's not nothing at all. All right, and last question. Do you, by 10529 Aaron. Oh, she asked another question. Do you have any tips on using the grocery circular? I usually use the first page, last page, and the meat section in the middle. The rest seem like regular prices to me. I do have a grocery price sheet to compare with, but I feel I'm not using the circular to my best. We go to 4 stores a week, but I don't look at circulars for 2 since my sanity is worth something too. You are doing better than me. Because I work in a newspaper, I usually get to see the circulars pretty soon. So, like, I go to the back and I pull a circular, maybe like a day before everybody else sees it. But I actually don't use them that much. I flip through it. I will, if like strawberries on sale. I do buy fruit that's in season. Like right now, clementines are in season. They're the cheapest thing to buy, so that's the fruit I'm eating now. I look at the circulars. I actually don't look at the circulars every single week when I'm meal planning. I usually do it when I need a little bit of help coming up with ideas. So if pork chops are on sale, maybe I'll do that for dinner 1 or 2 nights. I'll find a recipe to make those up. But it comes down to what I'm cooking overall. And sometimes I'll adjust that for what's on sale. Actually, I'll usually adjust that for what's on sale. I'll buy turkey instead of ground beef because it's cheaper. Or stock up on chicken because it's on sale. But no, I don't peel through every single thing in the circular. You have to remember that those are ads at the end of the day. And they're trying to get you to buy more. So if you make your meal plan first and then check the circular and adjust things based on what's on sale, it can actually save you a little bit of money, I think. So I hope that's helping. I don't know where you got your grocery price sheet, if you made it yourself. I keep kind of a mental log, and I have my little book where I write down how much. But I kind of want that. Send that to me. That would be really cool. So, I mean, in my head, I know that when cans of vegetables go on sale for 50 cents a can, that's when I stock up. When chicken breasts go on sale for 99 cents a pound, boneless, skinless, that's when I stock up. But I don't actually keep a price sheet or extensive records into what normal prices are and what's a great deal. I just kind of know, and if I need something and it's not on sale, I just do it. As long as my overall $50 a week budget holds, it's okay. It's okay not to stress yourself out over it or, worry about clipping 1,000 coupons, because at the end of the day, those are also ads. They want you to buy things more than you need. So, I hope that helps. Just, meal plan first, then check the circulars. Don't stress. Do that in the opposite direction if you can't think of anything to eat. But it's okay to defrag a little bit. It's okay to just let it go. And I'm glad that you don't only check 2 of the circulars and not all 4, because yes, your sanity is definitely worth something. If you could, see if it's worth your time and your money to narrow that down to maybe 2 stores. I shop at the Dollar Tree and Walmart every week. That's it. In Hammond, I shopped at Save-A-Lot and the Dollar Tree, and if both of those places didn't have something, I'd go to the local Winn-Dixie or the Walmart. But your time is worth a lot. Don't forget that. So ask your financial questions below. I'm ready to answer them. And I hope y'all are having a good week. Next week, I will probably not be in the daylight because it burns. I gotta go work now. I'll see y'all later. Bye.